So, my name is Heath. I'm one of the docents here at the Estes Wynn Antique Car Museum in Asheville, North Carolina. And our museum has been open to the public since 1966. And it's composed of a collection of 18 vehicles that span from the earliest being a 1914 Ford Model T all the way up to the newest, which is a 1959 Edsel. And this is a very unique collection. So, we're housed in a building that was a former weaving business that was called Biltmore Industries, and it did originate out at the Biltmore Estate. It was called Biltmore Estate Industries, and then was later sold to the manager of the Grove Park Inn Hotel in Asheville, who was a gentleman named Fred Seeley. And he built up 6 cottage-style buildings on our property from 1917 to 1923, and had one of the largest fleece-to-finished fabric companies in the United States. So they were weaving wool fabric for men and women's clothing here. We've got a picture of the building our car museum is in now.
Yes.
Was the former weaving building, and there were 40 fly shuttle looms here, and those are said to be based on a design from Scotland, from some of the original weavers at the Biltmore Estate Industries Company. So the car collection, now this business went through a lot of up and down during the Great Depression, which hit Asheville tremendously hard and wiped out a lot of industry. And by the early 40s, one of the difficulties they had was finding skilled weavers, because most of the weavers here were men.
Yes.
A lot of them went off to fight in World War II. And by the early 50s, there was a lot of competition from synthetic fabric, and this business declared bankruptcy in 1952. In walks a gentleman named Harry Blomberg, who is an Asheville native. He's born and raised here, and he gets a very early start in the automobile business in 1923 with his first gas station and parking garage, Harry's Motor Inn. We've got some pictures of that business around the museum. And he hears that this business, Biltmore Industries, has gone bankrupt, and he comes up here to buy a large fabric cutting table that they would have trimmed these long bolts of fabric on for his lake house up in Lake Lure. And he sees this moonshine still over in the corner, and he says, "Hey, I'd really like to have that. I think it'd look great in my Cadillac and Pontiac showroom in downtown Asheville." And they said, "Mr. Blomberg, if you want to buy that, it's technically governmental property. It was seized by Fred Seeley as a deputy sheriff. You've got to buy the whole business." And Harry says, "Okay." Writes a check for $50,000 in 1953, and he revives the weaving business, hires back a lot of the workers that have been laid off, and he transforms this into more of a living village museum. So he does continue the weaving on a small scale, and that'll go on until the mid-'80s, but he transforms the former showroom into a mountain craft gallery that goes through a little bit of more evolution over time. And then he takes the building, this old building that housed all the looms, to house his personal car collection. So all these cars came from Harry, and a lot of them were sold in Asheville brand new in their era. So that's one thing, we try to tell the story with each placard of the car, as much of the local history and maybe the first owner that owned it. And kind of that thread is a lot of these cars belong to people that were significant in Asheville's history or were close friends with Harry.
Well, who would have owned the Edsel?
So the Edsel, we don't know. It seems to be that it was a car that was traded in at the dealer, and
it has got an infamous past, is the least I could say, because
that's right.
It became quite a financial burden, I think, on Ford.
Well, it had a lot of things working against it, and part of it was like the timing that it debuted was right in an economic downturn. In 1958, and it was in a weird spot in their lineup because it was kind of supposed to fill the gap between Mercury and Lincoln, but for not much more money you could buy a top-of-the-line Lincoln. So a lot of people kind of said, "Hey, it's not worth the money." And then they did have some early reliability issues on the automatic transmission on the first model, and that was a problem with the solenoids were right under some oil cooler lines that would have oil drip on them, burn out the solenoid, and it would not work with the push-button automatic. So it just kind of, unfortunately, didn't. Some of it was pretty ahead of its time, but the timing was not great.
Exactly.
Under the moonlight, your tender kisses gazing at starlight, I hear you whisper, my heart is thrilling. Is this a lovely dream, or real as it seems? Candlelit dances among the fireflies, something romantic glowing in your eyes. Nobody wake me out of this lovely dream. I wanna linger while the music is playing, holding you close against my heart. The sweetest symphony to hear you saying that we'll never part, dear. Heavenly breezes floating above me. Playing, holding you close against my heart. The sweetest symphony to hear you saying that we'll never part, dear. Heavenly breezes floating above me, holding me closer. You say you love me too. Am I dreaming? Is this a lovely dream come true? You made a lovely dream, a dream come true.
introduce.
Well, Heath, I wish I could stay longer.
Yeah.
If you could let our viewers know, are you open all winter or just the summer months? Or?
So we are open from April to December, 7 days a week. So 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We close from January through March for the winter.
Okay,
So we open back again usually April 1st.
April the 1st. And is there a code for getting here, the address? Or like in Europe, we've got air codes or postcodes. Do you have a code for here for people that reached here by Google Maps or something they could punch it into?
Certainly. Yes, so our address is 111 Grovewood Road, and that is Asheville, North Carolina, 28804. Our website is grovewood.com, and there's a link to the car museum on there. We also have a Facebook page for the Estes Wynn Antique Car Museum, and there's also one for Grovewood Village, and then that's the historic campus we're in that also houses our Museum of Weaving called the Homespun Museum and the Grovewood Gallery, and they're on Instagram, and their handle is Grovewood Village on Instagram. So you can find us a couple different ways.
Well, Heath, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for all the information.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
I must say you're very knowledgeable on what you've got here. So you like you said to me earlier on, you've got a good few cars yourself.
That's right.
So you're not just standing in, pumping out what somebody told you.
That's right.
You're hands-on.
That's right. Well, and I grew up in Asheville. I'm a native, born and raised here, and I've been coming to the museum since I was a little boy. So my dad would take my brother and I and hold us up and look into the cars, and so I see a lot of families doing the same thing today.
Yeah.
And some of these cars, now I come from a family of people that really love classic cars, and I grew up, my dad has had several Austin Healey's.
Okay.
And so I learned to drive stick.
Very nice car.
It's a great car, and they were very popular here in Asheville. Harry, the founder of this museum, actually sold MG and Austin Healey at his dealer in addition to Cadillac and Pontiac. So he had a British Leyland franchise probably from the late 50s until 1981 or so. When the MGB
and if anyone wants any more information, they can go to your website. You've just given all the details
That's
there,
right.
where they can come to.
Yes, sir.
I have to go, I'm sorry.
Okay,
but,
that's great.
But thank you very much, and we really appreciate
Absolutely.
giving us your time.
Certainly. Thanks for
Thank you,
coming
Heath.
in. Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Hey, there's George. There's the man himself. Oh, George, keeper leg.
There's a lady who lives in Manhattan, and I'm dying to make her my own. She likes to take long walks out in the rain. She just loves the feel of a rainy New York day. She likes the simple things, the simple things. And when we go out on the town, she always looks so right. It's just candy and champagne and roses all night. She doesn't need those diamonds and pearls. What she's got is mine, and what's mine is hers. She likes the simple things. She just knocks me off my feet, and there's no one quite as sweet. She knows how to chase those blues away. Now I never thought I'd feel so crazy about a girl who lives just down the street. 'Cause she's the one I will hold on to forever. Settle down like two birds of a feather. She likes the simple things. Oh, the simple things.
told by the chairman not to be long. What about Seamus Moore, boys and girls? Give him a round of applause. The last time I saw Seamus, we were in Spain together, these two young men. We were doing a tour in Spain. And we'll not say what happened, but it was good. So all the visitors, you're all very welcome to Kesh. I'm going to do a wee survey. Hands up all the senior citizens that are in Kesh this afternoon. No lies allowed. Now, you might change your mind because in a recent survey they reckon if you're over 55 you're a senior citizen. So put your hand up if you qualify for that. Come on, George Ogle. Mine is up. And there's no shame in that because this survey went on to show that the senior citizens of 55 are the new teenagers of today. What about that? And do you know why? Because we all lie about doing nothing all day and we're full of drugs. And where would we be without the drugs? That wee box that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Then it gets to Saturday, there's an odd young fella pops a different coloured pill in just for a wee bit of fun. Yes. But if you're visiting us in Kesh, you're very, very welcome, and we hope this is really, really great to see. And we love visitors coming. But I like to get away out of this country of ours as well. Is there anybody on the tour from Scotland this year? Yes. There is. Well, who paid for you to come? Oh, from Scotland, very good. Oh, not insulting you, then you're too close to me. Money situation is very poor over there, isn't it? Not in your case, obviously, as you're very well dressed and respectable looking. I had a friend who had 3 sons, and at Christmas he called them in to explain he had no money to buy them much for Christmas. And he says, lads, I want to know what you'd like because I need to get some money out from under the bed. First fella says, oh, Daddy, if I had a wee tartan tie, he says, I would be more than happy. Well, he says, that's okay, son, we'll get you that. Second fella come in and he says, oh, Daddy, if I had a wee tartan kilt, he says, I would be delighted with that. He says, that's okay, we'll get you that. Third fella come in and he was a bit of a tearaway. Wine, women, song, fast cars, a bit like Ivan Key. 40 years ago. He says, Daddy, I want £20,000. He says, what? He says, your first brother wants a wee tartan tie. The other brother wants a wee tartan kilt. He says, what in the name of goodness do you want £20,000 for? He says, Daddy, I got a wee tartan trouble. And yeah, if you're caught, it's very expensive. But I'm going to hand you over to George Ogle here, who's going to tell you how to get home, because apparently somebody took a wrong turn getting here, who shall remain nameless. But you're all arrived in Kesh, but we want to make sure you get back to the Killyhaviland. And if George has anything to do with it, that will happen. Thanks very much, folks. Enjoy the rest of your run.
Wave your hand for Gary there. No problem. Okay, folks, all I have to say is the pair of boys here behind me, excellent. Thank you very much. Doing a great job. And Gary for putting on the tea and biscuits and what have you. He is a complete and utter gentleman, and I've known him a lifetime. And that's basically the only way I could describe him. He does a lot of stuff for us here in the club and different other clubs. And I think he deserves a massive round of applause too. Thank you very much. Basically what we're doing now, we're leaving, turning right down at the bottom, going across, take the first right, which brings us up the back and back out onto the main road, and then it's directly into the Killyhaviland and then a Skidmore. If you go wrong and you're not there by 8 o'clock, somebody else will have your table and your meal. So, thanks again, folks, and it's great to see all these cars that we have brought here, or you have brought for us. And look at that boy going with a big bag. I thought he was coming to me with it, but he's obviously going on. But listen, folks, thanks again, and I hope to see you all tonight at the dinner dance, and we'll have a good night's crack, and there might be a few wee surprises there as well. I'm not sure what's happening yet, but we'll do our best to keep it as lively and keep it going as long as we can. So thank you all very much, and give the boys a big hand here again, folks. Thank you.
Here we go.
Good man. Happy days. And I'd just like to say, how did you enjoy your trip on the Air and Vintage Trucks?
And the whole hospitality was absolutely unreal.
Was it? Well, I'm glad to hear that, and thank you very much for your sponsorship. Where are you going home to?
Castlebar.
Paddy, go backwards.
West of Ireland.
All right, but that's lovely. Right, take care now and safe travels now. Two right back from me home. That's it. And how did you enjoy your stay in Fermanagh?
Very nice.
Very nice, that's good. Now behave yourselves now when you're talking, because this is all going online.
Right.
And yes, you're going to the dinner dance tonight, I hear.
Yeah.
And you're taking your first wife with Jamaica. And I think we'll leave it in that note, and hopefully we'll see you here next year. Alright, so be good and safe travels.
We're going to start giving out the prizes here, so if you want to come over to us here at the bar, we'll start doing that. Yeah. And I'm going home. We have a few prizes, but just first, before we start, look, thanks to everyone for coming to this year's show, the Cashionara Classic Retro Car Show.
Just stand still, will you, for Christ's sake?
I'll stand still, yeah. Is that alright, Pat? Look, the show is in its third year, and we've over 200 cars of excellent quality and standard, and you know, from every year, really appreciate what you've done to get here. But first up, we want to say a big thanks to Brendan Worski and Karen and all the team and staff here for keeping us watered and fed. And if you stay long enough, Brendan's running a special. There's drink 8 pints, we'll give you 2 free. Food, the 2 marks that are there, Edwin Rushing Cleary and Linda Mahan. And music, John Meehan, big thanks. And the McGarrigle family for the use of the field over here. And if anybody gets stuck in it, just let us know, we'll get you out, we'll get you stuck in the bar. And also the Breezy Centre and Donegal Food, Potter McGinty. So look, we'll start with third prize. Yeah. Very hard to pick the prizes because the standard's so good. But this one is the Mark III Golf R32 build, Declan McGowan. Is he still here? We don't have a long walk. Now the second prize is the Mitsubishi Evo 9, and that's Niall McGuinness. He's probably cleaned the car, is he? If anybody sees Niall McGuinness, let us know, or we'll give his prize away to someone else. I didn't know. We go on to the wild card. We go on to the wild card. Okay, so this is just one that we just think needs a prize because it's so good, and we want to give another prize away. So it's the Honda NSX, and it's Paddy McBride. There's Paddy. Good morning, Paddy. I love lovely car.
Good man. Stand in front of the camera.
Sorry, yeah. I thought my back was better. James over here. Well done.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
That's the Honda NSX over there. Cheers. Thanks, Paddy. We didn't find Niall McGuinness, did we? Niall is on his way. Where is he? Niall's on his way here.
Loves the photos.
Adrian's going to tell us a bit about his car.
Niall McGuinness loves the photos, so come on ahead now.
You can come quick so he doesn't talk about it. Well done. Well done. The lads really struggled to pick the first prize, lads. As you can see yourselves, it's hard to do so when there's over 200 cars. And also, just before you do, go on to the Facebook page. We do want you back next year, probably sometime this summer, but anyway, next summer. First prize is the Ford Escort, the Mark I Escort, Mexico. And I have the name there, but I've lost it. Willie Burke. Where are you, Willie?
He's down there.
Well done, Willie. You start walking, we'll start clapping. What do you want to say? Willie's on his way here. So we're going to do a raffle next. We've loads of prizes, loads of donations, so if you can hang on for them, please do. And if you haven't donated, please donate and take it. It's all for charity. The charities are Kevin Bell Trust, Kevin Bell Trust, so it's a great charity, and the charity brings people who have died abroad home for people that need it. Camera shy. Very camera shy, and I turned away and you then. Yeah, I put them here. Well done. Thank you very much. Thanks very much. So we'll do a raffle in a short while. Enjoy your pints. Thanks for coming. 5 minutes.